everyone, I wanted to do a quick disputing exercise from page 70 to 72. If you don't have the English version, it might not be these pages, but it is in chapter 10 on fears of rejection. Before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below. Let me know if you like these type of videos. I think doing this and showing people how you dispute is really important. What I had to break down myself, because a lot of my body image related fears, I know I talk a lot about my body dysmorphia, which I had quite severely for over 10 years, close to 15 years, progressively getting worse throughout my 20s the whole time. But I also had a lot of other things too. Fear of rejection with academia. Giving an example, right? Nothing wrong with saying, really smart things. You work in a profession, but a lot of times, people use verbiage in everyday conversation that doesn't really need to be said. And I really struggle with that, needing to sound really smart. And so, instead of saying something like, one funny example would be like, instead of just saying steroids, someone will be like androgenic XYZ, or maybe someone's talking about the brain and they're like, the pathophysiology. And it's like, those things are meant for like note-taking with doctors. They're not really made for everyday conversation. And that's the problem that we have. So like, I would watch a lot of these well-intentioned YouTube people like that go on the Rogans of the world, and you become like really obsessed with sounding intelligent. The problem is that's not actually necessary, because when you look at people's lives, their actions they're not matching how they're speaking. So you could sound really intelligent, but if you don't really take any action in your life, it doesn't really add up to anything. And it's understandable why we're in this realm of just rejection in all fronts: money, intelligence, the way you look, the way you sound, the car you drive. Nothing wrong with any of that inherently, but it can be a slippery slope. So, and then Phil at OCDrecovery.com. So goal. I'm going to do one for me. Okay. My goal is to get comfortable without needing the success in material things that I so desire. Physical appearance, aka anything to do with looks, income, my job, the way I sound, my presentation, etc. Activating event. Let's do a couple with the body. So after a big meal, maybe you look more bloated. Maybe the way this feels around your stomach, stuff like that. Not feeling how you want to feel. Again, looking a certain way in photos from a side angle, etc. Stuff like that. Activating events is maybe you lose your job. Maybe you lose your money. Maybe people are making fun of you and stuff like that. Let's say that you can't afford to have a really nice car, so you go into debt. Then you make a bad decision and you have to come out of debt and try to pull yourself out. There's a million activating events you could do. So these are the irrational beliefs that really affected me. No matter what, I must come across as smart and intelligent. I must always look very good in the physical appearance. My hair always must look good. My physical appearance, my body always must look good. It makes me a powerful human. If I don't look like that, it's the worst thing ever, okay? And that consequences from those rigid beliefs made me feel very depressed when I didn't look the way I wanted to, very panicked. Another emotional consequence was angry, seeing other people with things that I didn't have. A lot of internal jealousy, even though that jealousy didn't come off in like a manic way. It was more so, oh, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. And I would just talk down to people, which is not a good trait to have by any means. And another one was, no matter what, I must look like I'm succeeding. I must sound very intelligent. I must come across as someone that makes a lot of money. So there was a lot of white lying that I did, and major lies, lying about how much money I made, lying about how successful I was, lying about my presentation in certain academic fields and everything. I mean, I remember for a long time I would like lie to people and tell them I had a PhD when I didn't. It's sad. It's just really sad, because I was afraid of being rejected. And I have no problem saying that now, because I'm not embarrassed of that stuff anymore. So the rational belief is, I don't like looking in a way. I'm saying double negatives. Okay. I don't like looking fat. Okay. But if I don't have the muscle that I want, if I don't fit in a certain clothes the way I want to, it's not the end of the world. I can balance being in shape, but I don't need to be extra over the top about it. So it's similar to the longevity world. People that are trying to live forever aren't really living at all, which is really sad. The longevity world is a collection of hypochondriacs for the most part. Really, really sad. Understandably so. And some of the most famous people in fitness have some of the most rigid beliefs. So you can have a really good physique, but then when I sit down with you and I say, hey, tell me about the rest of your life, poor saving habits, investing habits, very bad communication, cut off anyone that's toxic, They have all these other bad low frustration tolerance behaviors that really hinder them in life. And that's not really where I wanted to be. So why must I look? Let's do some disputing. Why must I look the way I want to? Where is the evidence that I have to look the way I so desire? There is no evidence why I must look the way I want to, but there are several reasons why I would prefer to. There's no evidence that exists that I have to get the body I want, even if I put the work in. If the world owed me a good physique, then it would just give me a good physique, okay? Here's another one. In what way is it awful if I don't get this job, if I don't make the money that I want to make? In no way. It may be damned inconvenient, but it's hardly 100% inconvenient, since it could be worse. And if it were awful or terrible or the worst thing ever, it would be 101% inconvenient, so it couldn't be that, okay? If I don't have money in retirement, why is that so terrible? Well, prove that I can't stand it. Many people have stood it, whether they're getting funding from the government, maybe they have to live in subsidized housing. It's not what they want, and people might look down upon them. But if I really couldn't stand it, then I would just explode into a ball of flames. I call it Voldemort dust. It's a funny example. If you couldn't stand it, you would just blow up. You would just explode into a ball of nothingness. So you can stand it, okay? Where is it written that people should not talk behind my back? This is a big problem in today's world. This idea that people can't talk behind your back, that people have to be nice to you. People could say whatever to me, whenever they want, however they want. They could talk bad about my coaching. They can make fun of my physical appearance. They can call me stupid. They can call me ugly. They can make fun of my wife. They can do all that. Oh, they can make fun of your wife. No, you got to stand up for her, dude. No, that's a very bad way to live your life. And you're putting your emotional basketball in their hands. My emotions, I just gave control over that to you. And I'm not going to let that happen because I'm going to work on my beliefs and my behaviors and keep my mouth shut. So it took me about 5 years to work on that. Who would have thought? That doesn't mean you don't feel anything, right? That's the misconception of Stoicism. And by the way, the reason why people are so adamant against this and Stoicism is because of the misunderstanding of that. They believe the emotion, yelling and screaming, is powerful. But when you take a bird's eye view and you look at that person's life, they're doing themselves a major disservice by giving into their emotions all the time. But it looks really cool in a TikTok. That's why we do it. And it makes us feel that way, okay? So, new philosophy. Only in my nutty head do I need the things I believe I need. But if I learn to unconditionally accept myself with very low to no expectations, I can learn to have desires and goals without needing to reach those goals. Even if I am incompetent, even if I don't make the money I want to make, even if I look stupid and sound stupid, even if I am dumber than other people, right? I know I'm really good at certain things. I'm good at communication. I'm good at making people laugh. I'm good at just my mannerisms in conversation. I'm good at what I would consider common sense. I'm not the best at patience. I had to really work on that, and it's probably a lifelong thing for me. I'm not the most intelligent person on earth. I mean, you could always compare yourself to someone, and I'm okay with all of that. And it's not what I would want in some ways, but it's not the end of the world. So breaking down your beliefs, but one of the most important things about this is you are going to have to get comfortable with not needing to show off. Showing off your hard work is not the end of the world. If you make a lot of money, you want to buy a Ferrari or buy a nice car, there's nothing wrong with that, or upgrade your house. But try not uploading things on social media all the time. It's not really necessary. 99% of people on this planet don't make a single dollar or don't have enough pros to do it, because people don't do a pros cons list. Like, if you are a banker that makes really good money and you have nice things and you've never made a dollar off your social media or showing people of your life, there are it basically is zero pros to updating people about what you're doing, if you actually look at it from a bird's eye view. And there's tons of cons. So just something to think about. Phil@ocdrecovery.com. At least a couple times a month, I'll go through different exercises. It is really good. Now, it's hard to, in the one-to-one, I really go into detail. I take very specific notes for people to show them where they're going wrong. I have them do disputing a couple times and type it so I can recorrect it to show them where their thinking is going wrong in their belief systems and some of their behaviors. So thanks again. Reach out. Please don't sit alone. Hope to hear from you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.